Hi, Benjamin Ling here, Altitude Capitalist, coming at you today with a 1986 Topps wax box break. I paid $79 all in with tax and shipping for this. If you work really hard, you can get it for about $10 less. But this company, MP Collectibles, they did a wonderful job packaging this. They have their little sticker here, eBay username 1MCP770. And just thought I'd show that because he did such a wonderful job packaging this. The 86 Topps comes with baseball cards on the bottom. These were all popular players back in 1986. And it's really hard to find PSA 10 cards in this vintage because the black borders around the top are so hard to keep sharp, and the slightest flaw shows up easily. So I'm not expecting a lot out of here. If you do find a PSA 10, I mean, you'll be well rewarded. The Nolan Ryan goes for around $750. Some of the other key cards in this set are Rickey Henderson. There are two Pete Rose cards as a manager and a player. Tom Seaver, Kirby Puckett, Cal, Clemens, Mattingly, Yount, Rod Carew, George Brett. You know, the usual suspects. There's a lot of Hall of Famers in this set. So without further ado, we'll cut this thing open and see what we have. So a couple things about this box. They said this was fresh from a case, and it looks like it's in excellent condition. You can see that the perforation is still intact. These corners are very sharp. No damage along the edges. It leaves me hopeful that maybe there'll be some cards in here in good conditions. So let's open this up and see what we have. That's about what I expected. It's been a long time since I opened up an 86 Topps. Here's what the special offer card looks like. And there's a Gary Carter right off the bat. This is off center. I hope that's not a harbinger of things to come. I hope we have good centered cards here, but it's the first Hall of Famer we have. Steve Smith. It's pretty well centered. There's a print mark right there. One thing I noticed about these cards is there's a lot of randomness of them being upside down or right side up. Opened a box of 1987 Topps yesterday, and they were all facing the same direction. It's pretty miscut north and south. Fernando Valenzuela, a record breaker. So Harold Baines. Probably 60-40 off center left to right. Corners look pretty sharp. So this is I guess we could call it a retrospective, to borrow a term from the art world. In 1986, Topps did several cards that featured many of Pete Rose's cards through the years. I think it included every Topps Pete Rose card that was produced up until 1986. These don't go for very much on eBay as PSA 10s. just because the white borders make a little easier to get a 10. This one would not rate as a 10. You may not be able to see it, but there's some damage to the edge on the bottom. But those are always fun cards to get. I loved Pete Rose when I was a kid. And I think Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Now I can tell that some of these cards are damaged here, up in the upper left-hand corner. Another Harold Baines, 2 in a row. This is very miscut north to south. And I think this is the same card I just had a minute ago. But 3 Hall of Famers in a row. There's Jack Morris. I guess Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame, but I'll pretend he is. Okay. Not a bad start. I'm pretty happy with the condition of these cards, and it's just fun opening up a box of 1986 Topps. So Rolling Fingers, looking good. So we've had some of the second-tier Hall of Famers here. No big names yet. We'll keep trying and maintain a positive attitude. These corners look pretty sharp. I'm happy about that. Sometimes you can tell when you open one of these packs, just looking at the corners, you can tell if you're going to have a problem or not. There's a miscut Carlton Fisk, All-Star. Dwight Gooden, record breaker. So again, the Topps did turn back the clock cards in 1986 as well. There's Frank Robinson. Fred Lynn. It's a great looking card. Okay. I saw another Jack Morris in there. It's Pedro Guerrero All-Star. This is the second Ken Griffey that's come out of this box. There's Jack Morris. Okay. Again, we're seeing some of the marginal Hall of Fame players so far. Would like to see an appearance by Nolan Ryan or Ricky Henderson maybe, or Pete Rose player card. So Topps also produced mini cards in 1986 that had this halo around them. You see those every now and then. Individual players. Dick Williams is a Hall of Fame manager. Gum stain here. I'm not seeing, there's a little bit of a wax stain. I haven't really noticed the wax stains on these like 87 Topps I opened yesterday. Every single card had a pretty bad wax stain on it, and every single card had a pretty bad gum stain on it. Haven't noticed it as pronounced in this box. There's a Hall of Fame manager as well, Tony La Russa. Because some of these are so hard to get in a PSA 10, after I'm done with this, I'm going to check out some of the population report for very low population PSA 10s and see if I have any of those guys. So this looks like a very off-center back right here. Hopefully they're not all like that. It's an off-center Dwight Gooden. Razor Shines, gotta love that name. Here's Ryan. This looks really good. We'll have to take a look at that under a loop magnifying glass to if there's any imperfections that you really can't see with the naked eye. But that looked pretty good right there. Happy about that. Another Fred Lynn. There's a guy who does these on YouTube, and he thinks Fred Lynn is a member of the Hall of Fame. When he comes across a Fred Lynn card, he very enthusiastically says his name. He calls him Freddie Lynn and announces that he's in the Hall of Fame. Of course, Fred Lynn's not in the Hall of Fame. This guy was a big star back in the 80s, early 90s. Okay. Happy that Nolan Ryan made an appearance here. That Nolan Ryan in the PSA 10 sells for about $750. Okay. Ricky Henderson All-Star. We may just turn back the clock. It's bad in the All-Star, off-center. Pretty bad off-center. These All-Star cards grade a little bit better just because they don't have the black border across the top. Lou Whitaker. Still no Don Mattingly, Kirby Puckett, second year. Roger Clemens, second year. Wade Boggs, George Brett, Mike Schmidt. None of those guys have shown up yet. Maybe this is the pack. You got to play to win, guys. And this is fun. Cecil Field, nice Cecil Fielder card here. I think that's his rookie. Yeah. This guy signed a lot of mail. Very generous signer. I forgot he played for the Indians. This guy changed the shape of the G, his signature, about halfway through his career. You'll see drastically different Gary Gaetti signatures out there. I think I saw this as a PSA 10 really expensive on eBay. I'm going to pull that out just in case. That looks like good shape. Earl Hershiser, there's a good-looking card of his. Second David Johnson we've gotten. Second Don Asse we've gotten. Second Tom Ito had gotten. I've noticed in some of these wax boxes, you get repeat players frequently. Not sure why that is. Nothing there. Okay. Saw a Yankee in here. Maybe that'll be Don Mattingly. Nope. Phil Niekro. Rod Guidry. Yankees in that pack. Nothing there. A lot of great second-year cards in this set as a follow-up to the great 1985 set. Haven't really seen any of them yet. Paul Molitor, that's in pretty good shape. I can say, going through half this box now, I'm happy with the condition of these cards in terms of everything. I mean, centering, most of them are pretty good. The corners are good. The edges are good. The surface looks good on these. And it's a little bit off center, but it's Nazi. Bob Melvin was a really nice guy. He signed a lot of autographs for me when I was a kid. He treated me very well when he played for the Orioles. There's another Sean Dunston card in here. It's another Cecil Fielder. There's a Reggie. Little off center, top to bottom. That's the second Doyle Alexander card we've had. We're about 75% of the way through this. Gossage, 2 packs in a row. Like I said, you get a lot of repeat cards in these. There's Pete Rose. It's in good shape. The Pete Rose card says first base -manager. I believe there's also one in this set that's just a manager. Pete Rose. That's a little, looks like it's a little off center, 60-40 left to right. Might not be a winner there. But still pretty cool to get another Pete Rose card in there. Second, Whitey Herzog. Nothing there. Second or third, Joe Niekro. Second, Lee Lacy. Second, Randy St. Clair. Second, Al Collins. Second, Reggie Jackson. It's one of the few cards that had a bad gum stain on the back. The 87 box I did yesterday, every single pack had a wicked, nasty gum stain on the back. It's strawberry, off center. There's the Mattingly, off center. Let's take a closer look at this Don Mattingly. Yeah, not really gradable. It's the corners are fantastic. I mean, the corners look gem mint. Surface looks perfect. But you can see it's 60-40 off center. My buddy has a centering tool. We'll take a look at that, but I'm not holding out a lot of hope that that will pass muster. Here's a Vince Coleman. Second, Bo Diaz card in the box. Second, Julio Franco. There's the Wade Boggs. This looks perfect. That's a great looking card. So here's the Pete Rose manager card that I was talking about. It's just as the manager. Second Raleigh. Last four packs. Really like a Ricky Henderson. He's got a great card. And what do you know? Right there. All right, we'll see. We'll see how that looks when we get to it. Off center, 60-40 left to right. It's a little bit of dust on it. Probably not gradable. We'll take a closer look. And here's a Cal also off center. Off center left to right. Steele Murphy, same story with the off centerness. Three packs to go. That was a good pack right there. 3 Hall of Famers. Solid. It's the second or third Ray Knight we've gotten. Okay, 2 packs left. Roger Maris, turn back the clock. Last pack. Yogi Berra. Another second Dwight Gooden. It's miscut again. So that's what we have. Good distribution of some of the stars. We got the Ricky Henderson. We got both the Pete Roses. Got Cal. Got the Mattingly. Got Robin Young. Got Phil Niekro. Got Wade Boggs. Obviously, we got the Nolan Ryan that we were looking for. Didn't see Kirby Puckett. Ozzie Smith did not appear as a player. We had the Ozzie Smith All-Star card. No Rod Carew, no George Brett, no Gary Carter player card. I think we got a Gary Carter All-Star card. The conditions, a lot of off-center. A lot of stuff's really off. I mean, look at this. You almost lose the top half of the word Mets there. So there was a lot of that. I'm not sure if there's going to be anything in here. That Nolan Ryan looked really good. And if that's gradable, I mean, that's a win right there. But we'll look at these closely. We have a tool that can look at the centering of these to see if it's worth sending in. It's not going to send in anything from an 86 set that's miscentered. Then a magnifying loop, a little tool that jewelers use to look at corners and edges and surfaces to try to find a defect that the naked eye won't have, because we know that before a PSA 10 is assigned to a particular card, the graders will be looking for imperfections in that same manner. So we want to catch that stuff before we send it in, because we really don't want PSA 9s. You can't really, it's just not, the value is not there. We're looking for 10s when you're talking about junk wax. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a great time with this box break. I think I'm going to buy another box from this guy. I was really happy with the condition of the box. It's obviously case fresh. Was a little bit more expensive. It was about $5 or $10 more than you pay otherwise, but that doesn't bother me really. Because if you get a winner, if you get a nice P10 out of here, it doesn't matter if you pay an extra $5 or $10 for the box. So thanks, and I'd love to hear your opinion on some of the cards that we pulled out of here, what you think about the 1986 Topps set. I think this is kind of an iconic design, and I think that Topps reprised this design a few years ago. I don't follow modern baseball. I don't think I could name 5 current baseball players right now, but I do think I've seen a similar design to some modern Topps baseball cards. So thanks a lot.